aged 80. Warren Buffett is still investing in his 80s, and David Attenborough is making hit TV series in his 90s. Behind them stride loads of ordinary people who see extra time as an opportunity, who are starting businesses and are highly productive. They can defuse the time bomb. Will they be fit enough? When a football match goes into extra time, there's a premium on fitness. Here the omens are pretty good. Today's 70-somethings are sprightlier than ever before, and the incidence of dementia is falling. There is work to do, though, on health inequalities. Increases in life expectancy have slowed in the UK, where the average life expectancy at birth is now 82 for women and nudging 80 for men. In America, life expectancy at birth has dropped for 3 years in a row, partly because of the opioid epidemic. Both countries face a battle against obesity and poverty. Globally, demographers think these dips in life expectancy are probably blips. The 21st century will be defined by people living longer in societies which are growing older much faster than we have fully realised. But are they ageing faster? Only if you cling to out-of-date notions of what it means to be 50, 65 or 80. Islands of extra time. On the Pacific island of Okinawa, there is no word for retirement. The longest living women in the world are still caring for great-grandchildren when they hit their hundreds. Okinawans are rarely lonely because they are supported by a network of friends, the moai, who are committed to share both good times and bad. The typical Okinawan house doesn't have much furniture. People tend to eat sitting on the floor, so they are getting up and down many times a day. They also have a strong sense of ikigai, roughly translated as reason for being. My Japanese friends tell me that you find your ikigai at the place where your values intersect with what you enjoy doing and what you are good at. Okinawa is one of the blue zones, the parts of the world identified by researcher Dan Buettner, where people have low rates of chronic disease and live exceptionally long lives. While it's not possible to distill a single magic ingredient, common to all blue zones are plant-based diets with very little processed food, strong friendships and a sense of purpose, lots of sleep, and strenuous physical activity. We can't all live on islands, getting up with the sun and tilling the soil. But the blue zones do suggest that what we think of as normal may be a very poor version of what our natural selves could be, and that is incredibly positive. Why I wrote this book. I started writing this book in 2016 after my beloved father died. He had dreaded getting old, so much so that he'd whittled down his life much too early. I remember his gloom on his 50th birthday. As we sat together on his favourite cliff in Cornwall, watching the waves break below, he said he felt that everything was over. I was a child, and 50 was older than I could imagine. But I did notice from that point on that my father started to think of himself in a different way. He would say, "Oh, I'm too old for that," with a sigh. After my mother left him, he refused to get a cat, although he adored them, on the basis that it might outlive him and be left homeless. He was 58 when he got divorced, and missed our 2 cats, Arthur and Merlin, most terribly. They went with my mother in the divorce, along with a hotly contested dining table. He ended up living in largely excellent health to 86, and he lived all that time without cats, who could have kept him company. After he died, I couldn't stop thinking about the way age can become a barrier. My mother lied about her age until she was 72, because she was terrified she would lose her job as a secretary and default on the mortgage she took out after the divorce. This created a huge burden of deception. She never dared join the company pension scheme for fear of being found out. She also hated the feeling that as her looks dwindled, she was becoming invisible. She refused to let my children call her Granny, or refer to her in any way as a grandmother, which made things awkward between them. In conventional terms, my parents were old, almost 40 by the time they conceived me. They'd met at Oxford University in the 1950s. She a glamorous American who'd grown up in Greenwich, Connecticut. He the bookish son of an English vicar. Their world was an intellectual bohemian one of artists and academics for whom work was passion, savings in the bank negligible, and retirement anathema. My father dictated his final article for History Today magazine from a bed in Charing Cross Hospital. My mother was campaigning to help a friend get his job back when she had her final heart attack. My thoughts about my parents chimed with my growing professional awareness of our fatalism about older people. As a journalist, and through my work for the Department of Health, I have met many compassionate nursing and care staff struggling against tick-box cultures and low pay.